Hey, it's Rick with the Rock Bottom Outreach, and it is Real Talk Monday. It was a great weekend. The event on Saturday went phenomenal. Met a lot of new people. We probably gave out close to 500 backpacks, and then also hygiene kits, supplies, school supplies, and if you were a part of that, I mean, I just can't thank you enough. It was overwhelming to see. But even for me, it's very humble to remember where I came from, and no, I didn't grow up in the ghetto or the hood, as they call it. But, yesterday being Sunday, August 16th, 2008 was the date that I sideswiped the 18-wheeler, with the boys. And I've discovered a lot of people that follow on the page, they've never heard my story. But essentially, a 10-year addiction that caught up to me, and under the influences and action, I hit an 18-wheeler. Lost the rights to the kids for a year, couldn't drive them, couldn't be alone. But there's some things I will never forget. And that was, on a Monday morning, the knock at the door, and it's CPS. And they wanted to talk to me about my kids, and and want to make sure how the kids were, obviously get my side of the story. And and then when your kids are interviewed by CPS, it's heart-wrenching as a parent to think that someone called Child Protective Services because you're a danger to your kids, and they want to make sure that your kids are okay. I mean, that's what they're for. I mean, CPS isn't to take your kids away. But, as much as God has done, and when I cried out for him in the middle of the night, he answered me and he saved me. And it certainly saved me of myself, and just, you understand your testimony is not about you as much as it is giving a message of hope and then glorifying God in that testimony. And that's why it's important, that we mention this, is it may encourage someone else that you're dealing with CPS right now and having to answer some tough questions. But as hard as it was, God never let me go. His promises are true. I remember, the first Christmas with my boys. I was living with my dad at the time, and we were sleeping in a little room. Then and my Christmas tree was about this big. I kid you not. And but I was doing the best I could at the time. That was the best I could do. And anyway, I remember making a joke to say, I know my tree's not very big, but my middle one, Toby, he said, but Dad, it's a nice tree. And again, God's done so much for me in these last 8 years. And just, if you've ever been delivered from something, from that bondage, you'll understand where emotion comes from, and emotion comes from when you really thought you weren't even going to survive. You want to make it out the other side. And so this weekend, I sit and I reflect, and I think of all that God has done for me. My prayer is that you never lose your humility. If you've been delivered, man, then why there's tears at times. When you go to church, why you hold your hands high and you don't care. You don't care who's watching. You're not embarrassed, man, because you got a real relationship with a real God, and you want everyone to know it. That's my question today. Are you a name dropper? Are you a name dropper that you talk about God all the time and Jesus, but you really don't know him? Let me tell you something. If he's delivered you, you know who Jesus Christ is. And you give him the glory, and you never stop, because you know how far he's brought you. I'm trying to encourage someone today that's at the same place I was, and it does get better. It doesn't seem like it ever will, but it does get better. If I could encourage you on this day, it would be to keep on keeping on. And remember, during the storm, don't focus on the storm. Focus on Jesus, because there's times we believe he doesn't love us anymore during the storm. But the truth is, he's right there in the storm with you. Whatever you're going through, keep on keeping on. It does get better. It's Rick with the Rock Bottom Outreach. It's been Real Talk Monday. And have a great day.